What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Keeping It Real with Najeh Wilkins. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about Meadowcreek, the Mustangs, and their football program. I'm supposed to have on head coach Todd Wofford today at 2 p.m. Still waiting to hear back from him, but we're going to talk a little about their program. They played in our Corky Kell 707 Invitational. It was very impressive as well. Their defense looked a lot better. They had some really good skill position players, but let's do a little quick review before it comes on. If not, then we'll just keep the show moving on. But let's talk about the program. So last year they were 7-4, 4-2 overall in the region. Made the playoffs. Had a really good turnaround under Todd Wofford. They played against Meadowcreek, so tough game on the road against the state champions. They ended up winning it all that year. Meadowcreek was just on another level. Man, I thought a great year. Started off against Great Atlanta Christian. That's going to be the first game of the season again this year. I think they're going to play on a Thursday this time, August 18th. Followed that up with a loss to South Gwinnett. Then played Campbell. And they went on a 3-game winning streak. They beat Campbell 29-17. And then Arabia Mountain 37-17. And then Peachtree Ridge 42-19 before losing a very high-scoring game. Nearly 100 points, or over 100 points actually, against North Gwinnett, 67-41. They got back on track against Discovery, beating them 35-14. Then they played Norcross on the road, lost that one 64-21, and then won a 2-game winning streak to end the regular season, beating Duluth 49-7, and then beating Berkmar 55-0, and then they ended with Meadowcreek. But I think what's really impressive about the team is, who they're bringing back this year. Obviously, some of the players graduated. Andre Craig is over there at Kennesaw State now, but he had a really good senior season. They also had Jordan Louis, who was really impressive running back for them. He's now at UNC, so they had some really good name brand players continue their college careers at really good places. Jordan Louis last year, 1,558 yards and 15 touchdowns. And then you had Andre Craig, who had over 1,000 yards receiving, 79 catches, really good senior season, and also 12 touchdowns. So he had a really good year as well. All right, sorry, I was texting the head coach. Said he's about to join in a second. I just wanted to know how they're going to replace their running back game. Who are some guys we should watch out for this upcoming season for the running back game? I kind of know about the receivers, Savon Smith. He just got a profile by Recruit Georgia. I think he'll be a big component of the offense this upcoming season. And then they got a really good offensive tackle. Donovan Thompson just committed to Maryland. I think he's a 3-star prospect. So he's going to be kind of the anchor on the offensive line. So I want to find out about some of them dogs they got on the O-line. And then also we're going to have our media day next week. So I just want to know who are some players he's going to bring with him. I'll probably ask him that at the end. Who will be some of those seniors, because they did graduate a lot of people last year. They are, pretty young squad coming back. They graduated 3 leading receivers last season. So let's go ahead and bring them on. Okay. No worries. We'll keep going until we get it right. All right. And then they also, guys, I meant to tell you, they have a very name brand corner as well. In Javon Bailey. He's actually going to NC State, 3-star player, very elite running back. So I think he's going – it's not running back, cornerback. So he's another staple on that defensive side of the ball for them that could be very influential. And I talked about this region actually a couple shows ago. And I think it'll be, obviously really intriguing to see. I think it's Peachtree Ridge region to lose. I think North Gwinnett will be competitive again this upcoming season. They're a very young, talented group. Norcross is very young. They do got a couple 3-star players on their team. Meadowcreek is going to be young this upcoming season. So I think those top 4, if I had to say who I think will make the playoffs, I could be wrong, but I think it's going to be between North Gwinnett, Norcross, Meadowcreek, and Peachtree Ridge. I think those are the 4 that made it last year. I think it'll be the same. I think it'll be a little bit of a shuffling, though. I see Peachtree Ridge up top and then Norcross. But let's go ahead and bring them on. Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Appreciate you coming on the show today.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, Coach, let's go ahead and get started with great season last year. You guys that made the playoffs. Just first and foremost, how would you rate that season last year? What really impressed you about the group and just being able to have that success early on?
Well, again, appreciate having me on. Last year was, it was satisfying for the fact that you coming into a new program, bringing in different pieces of a new staff, a totally new system, totally new defensive scheme, and the thing that I'm probably most proud of is that they bought in and they went out, competed, worked hard, did what we asked them to do. Again, a lot of which was new to them, new to some of the coaches that stayed on. Um, and to go out and have a 7-3 record the first year in regular season play was, I'm proud of that, proud of those guys for the effort that they put in for it.
100% coach. And tell me a little bit about those dogs you got on the offensive line. We know about the notable one, Donovan Thompson, who's committed to go to Maryland. But tell me about some other ones. I've been watching some of your camps and videos, and it looks like your line is, nothing to mess with. But tell me a little about the boys on the line.
Well, I'll tell you this, this is next year going into year 28, 29 for me. And this is possibly one of the, might be the best line I've ever coached.
Mm.
Potentially, I say that because, we hadn't played a game yet, but potentially, with the size and athleticism that they have, this could be up there. But, obviously Donovan is the anchor, he's the big name and all that. Big kid, 6'6", 315, can run. But we also have a couple other guys. We have returning all county offensive lineman in Jaden Brown, which, if you know about Gwinnett County, having an all county underclassman on the offensive line in Gwinnett County is huge because Gwinnett County has produced some of the best offensive line in the country for decades, and he's one of those. He's one of those dirty, kind of grimy, throwback, no tape kind of kids, and he's what 6'2", 300 pounds, and strong in the weight room. And then we have another kid, Isaac Carazaro, that um, Canizaro, sorry, that he's 6'4", 270, can run, play some defensive end as well. Um, it's just it's a good mix of three guys that are coming back from last year that were starters, and you mix in Donovan and Isaac, and they have a lot of length, a lot of athleticism, and a lot of weight. Um, and it's just a matter of them gelling and coming together as a group.
100% coach. And speaking of the offensive line, obviously I know you guys like to throw it, and I know you guys like to run it. So tell me a little bit about the skill position group this year. Let's start with the running backs first. Last year you graduated Jordan Louis, who's going on, I believe, to UNC. Correct me if I'm wrong there. But
Yeah.
who's going to be the running backs you're going to be depending on this year to kind of carry the load for you? You're going to run a two-back system, or you're going to kind of just depend on one guy to be the kind of three-down back?
Well, Jordan was a ridiculously talented player last year who, I expect to see a lot of great things from him at UNC. And, replacing him was, going to be huge, but I think we have the guys that can do it. You're talking about a kid who Jordan had 1,500 yards rushing and close to 700 receiving. So he never had to come off the field on offense. But we have a couple of guys. We have a kid, Jameer Zure, that has more of a scat back kind of feel to him. He plays DB as well. Could play some slot receiver for us, but he is explosive. He can score from anywhere on the field. Um, we have a couple of guys, Jaden Young, um, Alex, who we have a couple of linebacker type guys who are lead blockers and running backs. So we have a little mix of some power guys, some speed guys that will, kind of be able to do a little bit more kind of specialty thing, but like you said, kind of like a running back kind of committee this year.
Gotcha, coach. And then how are you looking at the tight end position? I mean, last year, tell me a little bit about the role that played in your offense. Do you guys use your tight end kind of as a flex? Is he kind of like a halfback, fullback, blocking for you? Or, what's kind of the role the tight end plays inside your system?
Now, this is the thing. Now, these days, tight ends are kind of like like leprechauns. It's hard to find. Um, Now you can go to certain places like up in Forsyth County where every team has three, like B1 tight ends, but around you got to kind of like do a makeshift kind of thing. But it's been a rarity that I've had a true, old school tight end. So it's kind of like where we have these days. You might have a slot receiver more so than a tight end to trying to find that matchup against a linebacker or a safety. So it's just a mixture of more so of a hybrid receiver or a hybrid, H back kind of kid that can play that role these days, as opposed to a true old school tailback because I mean tight end because I promise you those are harder to find these days because a lot of teams will make them maybe offensive tackle or guard that can move, or they'll go out truly to a receiver position. So when you can find one, you use them till the wheels fall off. So it's almost like running, like a running back position. We're going to have a couple of guys that play that role of it could be a quick twitch guy matched up on the linebacker or a bigger guy that's blocking on the linebacker. So it just depends on what we're looking for that particular week.
Gotcha, coach. Yeah, I was always curious. I know tight ends, as you mentioned, are used so many different ways nowadays. So I just wanted to kind of learn about that. But tell me, too, about your receivers this upcoming season. I know a little about Stephon Smith. I know he'll probably be a big guy for you. But who are some other guys you're going to be depending on, other classmen, upperclassmen, this upcoming season at the wide receiver position?
Well, obviously you said Stephon Smith, who is, he came in the summer. He's a dog. He's just a dog. He's a quick twitch kid that can do a lot of things for you on the field from the pass game, run game, reverse game. He just guy. He's a football player. That's one of the best ways to describe him. But also, Javon Bailey, who is a one of the top corners in the Southeast. He plays receiver as well, and um, kind of like some of the things I did with Travis over at Collins Hill. Javon will be doing some of those things that to find a certain matchup on a again on a position on the other team, linebacker, safety, or whatnot, to get the ball in his hand as quickly as we can, let him do what he can do. Another kid, Quentin Knuckles, who is a returner from last year that um, has grown a lot this summer, and we expect a lot of big things from him this year. So, um, those three kind of have jumped out this summer that have been consistent making plays.
Gotcha, coach. And then tell me a little bit about Corky Kell 707 Invitational. I watched you guys day one. You guys are really impressive. I just can tell you have this group competing at a high level, and they're not going to back down from anybody. But just what's impressed you? What impressed you at that tournament? One, and then two, what were some things you just outlined with this group? Just going back to spring practice, spring training, camps, and things like that.
I'll tell you again that was the first 7-on-7 that we did this summer, and we've done a few, and they've actually been pretty. They've been really impressive this year to me. Not knowing what to expect coming off of spring practice, but that was kind of like Javon. We call him JB. JB's coming out party, where like I use the summer to kind of see where my guys are. Where I want to play. Put them in the fall and whatnot, and JB showed me right, in that first 7-on-7 term that he can do some of those things where I like to find those matchups with him. He had a really, really good Corky Kale 7-on-7. Savon came out both sides of the ball like JB. When we rolled him over at corner mate, I think he probably had like 4 interceptions, but also would score at least a couple touchdowns a game. Knuckles did well. We moved um, well for on defense and just kept chopping wood that day and ended up in the final four and that was kind of one of the kind of tone setters for the summer that the guys bought into doing what we started in the spring and continued through the summer, and they did well in that. 7-on-7 did really well down in Athens at the UGA 7-on-7 as well.
100%. And then, coach, tell me a little bit about your quarterback room this year. How are you looking there at that position this season? Who are going to be some guys you depend on? You're going to run a two quarterback system, or you kind of know who's going to be your starter?
Well, we got two guys right now that kind of taking the lead in it, and we have a senior, Marcus Mitchell, who also back from last year, who also plays a little safety for us. learned the system last year, playing behind Cameron Ellis, who was the starter last year. Also have a sophomore, Your Highness Carter. Yes, that's his name, Your Highness Carter,
Johannes Carter.
who has a cannon for an arm. He has one of the probably one of the most impressive arms that I've coached, and that's and I've had some really good talented quarterbacks, and his arm strength is up there with the best of them. From the Sam Horns to Jaron Williams, he has a cannon.
Mm.
But he's a sophomore, so you obviously know with a younger guy you're gonna have some bumps, but when he's locked in and knows exactly knows what he's doing, oh he's pretty impressive, and it's I've been extremely proud of him this summer.
Yes, sir. It sounds like you got some good quarterbacks coming back, coach. It's gonna be to air the ball out. But tell me about your defense. How you looking in the trenches? Let's start there.
Well, I'll tell you this. Overall, as a defense, this whole summer, I'm kind of known as an offensive guy, but I've been so impressed with our defense this summer. I think we had some really good nights on defense this past fall, but this defense this year is so much faster than we were last year on all three levels that it's been it's been a pleasant surprise up front first. We have, like I said, the Isaac Canizaro. He's a two-way kind of guy, which is not normal for a lineman, but he's been impressive this summer. Jaden Brown's been impressive this summer on the defensive line. One kid that I think that's probably going to surprise a lot of people and come out of nowhere is Walt Huey, who came in last year from like Kentucky, late in the year, never played, a lot of games, but he is a tweener DN outside linebacker type kid that's about 6'2", 205. That is really really fast. So I think he's going to surprise a lot of people this year because nobody knows a lot about him because he came in late last year. Linebacker wise, we have a lot of speed,
Speed.
a lot of speed and aggressiveness that has been impressive this year. From the guys so far this summer. That some younger guys, a couple of juniors, one senior that have made a lot of plays this summer for us, and obviously the secondary with JB locking down the corner. Quentin Knuckles, again, we talked about him on offense. He's locked down one other corner. Again, Savon's, he rolls in the corner. We have Amon Pearson playing some safety. Jameer's playing some safety. And we just have a good group of guys that, Jordan Allen, who is a returner. He played corner last year. He's been incredibly fast and physical this summer, playing, a little bit of both ways as well. That I think, as of right now, it might shock some to know that our defense is way ahead of our offense because,
Wow.
just as a unit, they are really, really fast and physical.
Interesting, coach. And kind of walk me through, for those that don't know, what's kind of the Meadowcreek culture, right? What does it mean to be a Meadowcreek Mustang and to walk through those doors every day and walk through that field house and get ready for practice? What does that mean?
Right now, it's still, it's my second year, so, I'm still kind of establishing, what our brand is, compared to what it was in the past. It's a teaching of a winning mentality that it doesn't matter who we're playing on any given Friday night. We're going to bring it. We're going to work towards um, being, as aggressive and having a mentality that, on a Friday night, they got to be whoever they are, whatever their rank. We're going to match them and, let the chips fall where they fall. But, it's going to be a standard of aggression, a mentality of playing fast, playing physical on both sides of the ball and special teams. And, the good thing is the staff that I have right now is elite. It's really, really elite. Tim Goodwill is our new defensive coordinator. He's been around Gwinnett County for a while, and Tucker. He played at Tucker, coached at Peachtree Ridge, coached at Archer. He's a linebacker coach that's come from Riverwood and, played at Memphis and in the NFL. And he has a mentality that's infectious, and the kids love him. Those guys already are, running through a brick wall for them. And the whole staff, especially the whole staff, but the defensive staff especially is elite. It really is, and I think a lot of people will be surprised on how well they will be playing this fall.
100%. I can't wait to see you guys play. And coach, a couple more questions before I let you go. Just one, just what's that goal? I mean, obviously your first year there, you led them to the playoffs, which obviously that's a great accomplishment. But and then you ran into kind of the state champions, Meadowcreek, who just was on another
Yeah.
level last year. But you guys competed hard. So just what's that goal? What do you want to kind of accomplish going forward with this team in your second year?
The biggest thing that we want to do, one is, first win the first game against GAC. That's just, that's always the goal. Win your first game against GAC, which we accomplished last year, which was the first time Meadow Creek had ever beaten GAC in school history. But this year the goal, start off the same, but is to host a home playoff game. Be one of the top two teams in the region. And the goal is to win the region. We talk about it every day. It's never been done in Meadow Creek history, and that's what the goal is. That's what we're working for. That's what we talk about, and that's the expectation to go out there and compete. I heard you just a little bit saying you got Peachtree Ridge on top, and that's fine. We're gonna go out there and we're gonna chop wood, and every Friday night we're going after them, and when we
Yes,
go, we
sir.
go. That last year was the first year that Meadow Creek's ever beat Peachtree Ridge, so we're going out there. It's just a matter of we've got the talent, we got to buy in, and everybody's got to do their job and play for each other. And on that Friday night, anybody can win, anybody can lose. So why not be the one that wins every Friday night and shock everybody? And people always have, even when I was on the other side, everybody's always kind of put a stigma on Meadow Creek, and
It's true.
they're this and they're that. And that was the goal last year, was to change that narrative, and we're going to continue to do that right now, because we have Gwinnett County talent, and on any Friday night, anybody in Gwinnett County can be beat and can beat anybody, and we're going to be one of those teams, and that's just what it is. It's no thinking, it's no hoping about it. It's believing it, and that's the biggest thing.
100%, coach. I see you've been watching. um,
Hey, everything's on the bulletin board. Everything's on the bulletin board.
hey, I get it, 100%, coach. I like that though. But um, one more thing I wanted to ask about too. Gosh, I'm losing my train of thought. I know you guys are going to be at our media day on next Wednesday at start at 10. I think you guys slated for Florida. So who are some guys you're going to be bringing with you at the event? Are you bringing your whole team, or are you just bringing a select few guys?
No, I'm bringing, I think it's like five that's going to come down there. Obviously, Donovan will be down, JB will be down, Isaac will be down. I think Jaden, though I definitely know those guys will be down. Excuse me, and doing the thing. We have two commits, between JB and Donovan. So then we got a couple of guys that have multiple offers. So we're just going to bring those guys down to represent us and talk for us and speak for us. Let everybody else know what we're doing.
100%. Last question, coach. Just what would you just tell? Obviously, I know you're changing the stigma. You get more people out to the games. So what would you tell the fans and some of the parents? Just things that you're trying to do. I already said what you're trying to accomplish, but what would you just tell them to continue to support the boys and what you're trying to kind of create there at Meadow Creek?
Well, first thing is, excuse me, that I didn't know until signing day last year. Last year we had four guys sign early signing period. And that was the first time that Meadow Creek had ever had a Power Five D1 signing. We already have two commits right now, which we're ahead of the curve on that. But just expect an exciting brand of football on the Friday night. If they thought we kind of changed a lot last year and how we looked compared to the past, that this year will be even better, because we'll play a lot faster, a lot more physical, and we're continuing to build that confidence and that intensity that Gwinnett County, not just Meadow Creek, but Gwinnett County is known for. So when people watch us play, they'll know it's a Gwinnett County football team, and it's not old Meadow Creek. It is we coming for everybody. And that's just we're gonna do what we do, and every Friday night lay it out there on the line.
100%. And then, that was the question. Okay, so someone told me through the grapevine that you like broadcasting. You eventually want to get into it. So I just wanted to ask you, Coach, what realm did you want to get into? You do sports? You want to do like, is it commentating? Is it reporting? Like, what would you want to do?
I'm old man, so I've seen a lot. I've seen a lot of changes over the years. So I can be that old man, on the mic that, talk about back in the day. Compare the old days to these days. Like I said, tight ends where they used to be, part of high school football, full backs and all that kind of stuff, things that don't exist anymore, and kind of relate that to this, and I'm that guy. I'm that. We tempo now and stuff that I wish I had played in when I was in high school. We run so many plays now on a Friday night that we would have, that would have been 3 weeks worth of football back in the day when I played. So I think I could just bring a little little humor and little, them old man jokes to me because, between that and, just, and then also at the same time, bring a side of it that, um, I've had some, I've done the Under Armour game a couple times, done that, the Army All-American, Adidas All-American game a few times, and, have, relate some of those elite players compared to, some other guys and, and that type of thing. So, I think I bring a little variety box to a commentate thing. I don't know if that's color commentating or just being that guest guy that can just tell some good stories, that type of thing.
100%. Yeah. Hopefully, I'll be able to see you in the future. Just calling some of them games. I'm pretty sure you're a funny guy on the broadcast.
Might be like a new Shannon Sharp kind of thing.
Hey, that's not a bad the way to go. I heard that think he's about to get hired by ESPN. So he's doing his thing now.
That's the word. That's the word. That's the word.
100%. Well, once again, Coach, thanks so much for coming on the show. Pleasure talking to you. I'll probably see you next week at Media Day. Appreciate you spending this time and talking about your program and learning about more about your players.
Absolutely, absolutely. I appreciate you having on and get a chance to talk about the guys.
100%. We'll talk soon.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right, guys. So that's Meadowcreek head coach Todd Wofford. Cool guy, man. Craig was definitely right. He's definitely a real chill guy, funny guy. Got building a great program there at Meadowcreek. Definitely was surprised when he told me. I seen you picking Peachy Red, so I guess that just means you never know who's watching your show. So that's always funny. But we're gonna take a quick break, be back on the other side, and talk about a little bit about recruiting, a little bit about high school football America, and more news. All right, y'all. So we are back on the other side. We're going to talk a little bit about KJ Smith. I think he's one of the most underrated passers going into 6A. He led his team to a semifinal berth against Gainesville. So we're going to break down his tape. And then we're going to talk a little bit about High School Football America, top 100 high school teams. Numerous Georgia teams are on that list. So we're going to talk about that and a little bit about hoops before we conclude with the top 10 headlines for the weekend. So let's go ahead and get in. Let's roll KJ Smith's tape and talk a little bit about it. All right, y'all. Right here is an incredible play. He's going to spin, out of the tackle, keep his eyes downfield. Nice throw off the run. Easy tutty. Right here, going to get a little bit of a motion. Great downfield throw. Hits his receiver in stride and between two defenders. Same thing right here. Just going to throw the ball right on the laser. Open field right down. Right here, it's going to be just a little bit of a run, read option right there. Looking to ride this defender all the way for the touchdown. I mean, just defender that's bigger than him. That's just straight strength in the legs. Right here, look at him avoid the sack. Look deep downfield. Nice place throw right there. Nice sideline catch. Perfect throw. Right here, he's going to find the left corner of the field. Easy tutty right there in stride. Easy money right there. All right, here's going to be a little bit of a blitz. He's going to stand up in it. Don't matter. Great throw in stride. Easy touchdown right there. Love this play right here. I'm actually going to slow this play down, explain it down a little bit better. I mean, so one, the defensive tackle is going to come down. He's going to be able to get him once. He had a chance at him twice, as you're going to see right here. So here he comes. It kind of overpowers the center. Boom. He avoids it once. Here he comes back again. He got him right here. He's bigger than him. Look at him break that tackle. That's two. Look at him keep his eyes downfield. Bait the defender. And then throw a nice laser right there on the sideline. And then the receiver turns that into a touchdown. That is not an easy throw, especially with the defender bailing on you and coming down. Right here, a nice deep throw right here. Down the seam. Fired in the hatchet. Great touchdown pass right there. Here's again, nice laser throw. Easy money. First down. Right here, great throw. Hitting the seam. Easy touchdown right there. Right here, he's going to avoid the side against Gainesville. Look at him keep his eyes downfield. Nice throw. Get out, escape the pocket. Love his escapability. Right here, great throw. Right across the middle of the field. Easy first down, excuse me. Right here, boom. Look at that move he puts on the defender. Crazy. Easy first down right there. Way to keep the drive alive. Right here across the middle of the field. Boom. The receiver breaks both of the tackles. Great play right there. Here, nice deep ball right there. Corner can't even see it. Same thing right here. Lead the receiver right there. Boom. Only way the receiver can get in and snag it. Right here, I actually slowed this play down. Boom. Look where he places that football. Outer hash. Easy touchdown right there. Probably one of my favorite plays. Back shoulder fade. Right here, boom. Look at him avoid that tackle. One's bearing on him. Look at him keep his eyes downfield. You know what I'm saying? Turn that into a positive play. That could have been a negative play. Right here, great sideline throw. Only way the receiver can get it. Here he's going to throw it deep. Look where he places the ball. Perfectly thrown ball. Only where his receiver can get it. Look, boom. Not a very kind of a tight window, but look where he places it on the outside where a defender can't get it. Right here, nothing's downfield. He's just going to make a play with his legs. Look what he turned this play into. They're at the 30. Look where he goes all the way to. All the way to the opposite side of the field, opposing 40. Great play right there. Here, a nice deep shot down the field. Easy tutty right there. And that's what we got, y'all. So, obviously, it went kind of fast, but I think the most impressive things is that he keeps his eyes down the field, right? He's not, rattled by pressure, right? Because it seemed like it was a defender always bearing on him, but he can break tackles. And I mean, these defenders are bigger than him, right? But obviously, he's agile enough to be able to break tackles and be able to look downfield, make laser throws, hit the receivers in stride with his deep ball. I think his deep ball is underrated. Obviously, he had a great supporting cast last year with Ethan Nation, Ethan Cried, I think. Chris Elko had some great receivers this year. It'd be Dylan Williams who'd be his number one. But I think, he did a good job with that. So, again, great throw on the run and great escapability, good dual threat quarterback, great ball placement with his throws. And I think, he's going to be a force next year for Roswell. Led them to a 6A semifinal berth against Gainesville. Gainesville obviously won, but they were competitive in that game. And he was making some really good big plays. And unfortunately, it was that played at a kind of a neutral site, so it wasn't played at home or away for either team. But I think it was a great play by them. And I think KJ Smith, man, is one of the most underrated passers in 6A. I think he's primed for a big year. He don't get a lot of notice. I think he only has a couple offers. I think he just picked up one recently from Alabama State. But, he's a player to know, man, to watch next season out of 6A. Kid has some really impressive tape. So, y'all keep an eye on KJ Smith from the Roswell Hornets. He's due for a big season. All right, so let's keep it going. We're going to talk about high school football in America. Top 100 was just actually announced. Man, this list is kind of crazy, man. Of this list, 16 Georgia teams are on this list. Just goes to show you how good they are. Buford gets the #1 ranking right now in the High School Football America 100 preseason public schools in the rankings. Over the past years, the Wolves have been the most powerful programs in the state of Georgia, which, as I continue to say and will continue to say, that was one of the biggest upsets I've seen in the last decade from Walton beating Buford on the road. So, obviously, you see how valuable Buford is in the national landscape and in the state of Georgia, right? They've captured 14 state titles, 13 of them coming since 2001. So, they've continued to do great things. So, right now, #1 is Buford, 2 is Duncanville out of Texas, 3 is Miami Central, Florida, 4 is Dutch Fork, out of South Carolina, which I believe they're going to play a Georgia team this upcoming season. 5 is Thompson. I've heard some big things about Thompson. Really good team out of Alabama. Number 6 is North Shore. If you guys didn't watch my last show, I talked about North Shore receiver Christopher Barnes, 3-star. I think he should be ranked higher. We watched some of his clips. Then your number 6 team, according to the rankings. Number 7, Colquitt County out of Georgia, 13-1. They have Naquavius Carr. I think Landon Thomas as well, who's going to Florida State. Number 8, DeSoto, Texas. 9 is Corona Centennial out of California. 10, top 10 team in the country. Get this, Craig. Langston Hughes. It's number 10. That's a big one. Hughes actually starts the season against Carrollton. Oh, I knew they played a team. Okay, so that's actually going to be really interesting. Okay, I couldn't think of what team it was, but actually Dutch Fork is going to play Colquitt County. So you would have got a top 10 matchup to start the season nationally, starting out according to these rankings. So, and then number 10, Langston Hughes, back to them. They would play Carrollton in the season opener. I think that game will be on ESPN. So, big game right there. Number 11 is Westlake out of Austin, Texas. 12, Mission Viejo out of California. 13 is Bacha out of Arizona. 14 is the defending state champions in 7A, Mill Creek Hawks. They will be their number 14 on the list. That's another Georgia team. 15 is Oakland, Tennessee. 16 is Massillon, Washington, who we talked about on our show on Tuesday. 17 is Center Grove, Indiana. 18 is Caddy, Texas. 19, you'll like this one, Craig. Walton Raiders, number 19. Going into the preseason poll, and I think that's pretty good to be there nationally. It goes to show they're getting a little bit of love. So number 19, number 20 is Denton Geyer from Texas. 21 is Carrollton from Georgia. Some fans might say, well, why is Walton rated higher than Carrollton when Carrollton beat them in the playoffs? But just watch. I think them two are going to see each other again. That could be a budding rivalry that's building, even though I know some players are going to be leaving next year from Walton, but I think that could be a budding rivalry out there in 7A. So number 22 is Sagaro out of Arizona. 23 is Venice, Florida. 24 is Lakeland, Florida. 25 is San Diego, Lincoln out of San Diego, California. 26 is Cocoa out of Florida. 27 South Lake Carroll out of Texas. 28 East St. Louis out of Illinois. I think Creekside played them last year, if I'm not mistaken. Number 29 is Edgewater out of Florida. 30 is Jones out of Orlando, Florida. 31 is Kahuku out of Hawaii. 32 is Northwestern out of Miami, Florida. 33, Springfield, Ohio. Number 34, Bartram Trail out of Florida. 35 is Milton Eagles out of Georgia. Really good football team. They've been on my radar. I think they're going to be a team that's going to be very dangerous this year out of 7A. So I'm so excited to watch it. I think they're going to be really good. As Coach Ben Reeves has said, Luke Nickel was one of the reasons why they went so far in the playoffs last year. So he gets another year on his belt. A lot of talent on that roster. Look out for them. 36 is Alito out of Texas. 37, Edna Carr out of Louisiana. 38 is Central out of Phoenix, Alabama. 39 is Belleville out of Michigan. 40, Vandergrift out of Texas. 41, Auburn out of Alabama. 42, Lakota West out of Ohio. Number 43, Cedar Grove Saints out of Georgia. Number 44, Highland Springs, Virginia. 45 is going to be Corner Canyon, Utah. 46, Liberty, Arizona. 47, Destrin out of Louisiana. 48, Westville, Texas. 49, Longview, Texas. 50, Saraland. I've heard some good things about them out of Alabama. 51 and 52, Gainesville. And then 52 is going to be North Cobb. I think North Cobb is one of those teams not really flying high on a lot of people's radars, but very impressive. They did win our 7-on-7 Corky-Kell tournament, and Gainesville actually just won the consolation bracket at the Hoover 7-on-7 tournament. So they had also a good run. Number 53, is Prosper, Texas. 54, Bixby out of Oklahoma. 55, South Oak Cliff out of Texas. Number 56, Folsom, California. Number 57, Roswell, who the quarterback I just talked about out of Georgia. They're 57 on this list. 58 is Union, Oklahoma. 59, Alcoa, Tennessee. 60 is West out of Knoxville, Tennessee. 61 is Atasocita out of Texas. 62, Hamilton out of Arizona. 63, Cherokee Creek, Colorado. 64, Lake Travis, Texas. 65, Brownsburg, Indiana. 66, Mill, Kentucky. Got to see them up close and personal. They got some really good players out of that Kentucky team. They was at the tournament as well. Very, very good team. 67, Hewitt Truesville out of Alabama. 68, Edison out of Huntington Beach, California. 69, Hoover, Alabama. They were very impressive, really good skill position players. Heard they got a 5-star player, Jameis Winston's brother. I think his name is Jonah, out of Hoover, Alabama. Yep, they had some dogs as well. Number 70, got Chandler, Arizona. 71, Birmingham from Utah, or Bingham, from Utah. 72, Jinx, Oklahoma. 73, Skyridge, Utah. 74, Los Alamitos out of California. 75 is Seminole out of Sanford, Florida. 76 is Westlake out of Georgia. 77, Homestead, Florida. 78, Lehigh from Utah. 79, Apaka out of Florida. 80 is Hugh out of North Carolina. Detroit MLK from Michigan. 81. 82, Northwestern. 83, Creekside from Georgia. They're going to get a good test early. They're playing Mater Day in California. That's going to be a big game between those two teams. Cibolo Steel out of Texas. Grimsley out of North Carolina. 86 is going to be Grayson out of Georgia. Another good 7-inning program out of the state of Georgia. 87, Bryant, Arkansas. 88, Louisville out of Texas. 89, Hamilton Southeastern from Indiana. 90, Ruston out of Roustone out of Louisiana. 91, Meadowcreek from North Carolina. Buford's going to play them in, I think, their first game of the year. 92, Mainland, Florida. 93, Inglewood, California. 94, Arlington Martin, Texas. Carlsbad from California. Rome makes the list at number 96 from Georgia. 97, South Florence out of South Carolina. 98, Ware County from Georgia. 99, Booker T. Washington from Miami, Florida. And to complete the list, it's going to be number 100, Ghana, Ohio. So that's the top 100 teams according to High School Football America. Be interesting to see. I didn't see as many California teams as I thought I would see, but I think it's a great list overall. 16 Georgia teams make the cut. So I guess you can kind of see how good and how much they think of Georgia football and how talented the teams are. I think it's going to be a great year, man. Can't wait. Only about a couple weeks left before we start hitting season play, man. So y'all get your popcorn ready, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. Going to be some great shows as well. So that's what I got as far as the rest of that segment. We're going to conclude this segment before we take a quick break with hoops. Braden Liu continues to remain hot on the recruiting trail. I think he's now up to at least probably about 15 offers now. Just landed a couple more. He's got his blown up in recruiting, had a great summer circuit. So he's continuing to kind of blow up in recruiting. And then Caleb Wilson, the 5-star out of Holly Innocence, just offered by USC in Southern California. He continues to have a great year. Was really good in his AAU circuit as well, playing for his team, the Georgia Stars. He's another player to watch out for, especially next season, playing for Holly Innocence. So that is quick hoop news. We'll have more. We're going to take one more quick short break and then conclude with the third segment, top 10 headlines going into the weekend. All right, y'all, so we are back on the other side. Going to talk a little bit about top 10 headlines for the weekend, a jam-packed weekend. So hope you guys really enjoy that. A lot of good stuff to talk about here. So let's go ahead and get started. So, number one, big news headliner, Georgia High School Media Day will be next Wednesday. If you guys want to attend, definitely go to or contact the kind of event coordinator, I guess you could say, Graham David, GFD, Bama17 at gmail.com. We're putting together that list. All medium is welcome. It's been going on social media, so if you're not following Score Atlanta, I don't know what you're doing. So Go check that out. All that news is on there. We'll be post every day about it. Where it's going to be at. That's came out now. The location, the times, and everything. Hey, Graham, did we already fill all the slots for teams? Some later. Okay, so you still got a couple spots available? Okay, so any teams that are watching that want to come, not a much, but there's a couple spots available. You can definitely hit them up to kind of register your spot. But it'll be a lot of fun, man. A lot of great talent will be there. Good media talent. Rusty Mansell, Craig Sager, Chad Simmons is going to be there. Kaylee Mansell. Not sure who else is going. Brandon Adams, Jeff Sintel. So yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a lot of great media, man. So y'all definitely go out there. It'll be some great prospects. We just talked to Meadowcreek. He's gonna bring some of his notable players. Javon Bailey, JB is gonna be there. Their 3-star notable tackle. Donovan Thompson's gonna be there. So a lot of like notable players. How you see at most media days, they don't take a lot of people. It just depends. So stay tuned for that. That's a Wednesday at 10 a.m. all the way to 6 p.m. live coverage. I think it'll be streaming live on our YouTube channel. So how you're watching this, there's already been a link created for it. So that'll be live. It'll be a lot of fun. A lot of marquee talent will be in attendance. So definitely go check that out. And actually just heard that #1 player in the country, according to 247 Sports, Dylan Rayola, the quarterback for the Beaufort Wolves, will be there as well. So you guys don't want to miss it. Definitely check it out. It will be a prime time event. All right, guys. So #2. Ryan Jenkins commits to USF. I had him live on the live stream where he committed to the Bulls out there in Tampa, Florida. Full live coverage of all that's on our YouTube page if you want to go back and watch. I did when he officially did it, the moment he announced it, and also it's the interview on there as well. So if you guys want to check that out, that was our first major one for our platform and our channel. Definitely be more in the future. But I thought it was good, man. We got up to like 20 people watching all at once. So, I mean, that was great. And that was our first time, we couldn't be in attendance because all the way in Albany, so that's like a 4-hour drive. But I thought it was cool, man. I was able to set it up, do a quick interview after. And I thought it was super cool. Great moment for him. I loved it. He's a player that was just underrated. Nobody talked about him. And I just loved how he just blew up. He's a very humble kid. Just kind of puts his nose down and just grinds. So I just loved, where he's at today and him being able to go play for a D1 program. I mean, that's phenomenal, man. So to be where he was and where he is now, and just love to see that, man. That definitely warms your heart. So good luck to him in his future. Hopefully, like I said, he's trying to break that sack record this year, 21 sacks for the Westover Patriots program. So we'll see if he's able to do that. But let's go to #3. Harrison Hoyas. They unveiled their new uniform combinations. And, I mean, these photos are pretty sick. So let's go ahead and pull them up. I think this first combination I really like. All right, y'all. So this is the first one. So as you can see, so many different combinations. You see different helmets. So they're going to be either wearing the white or they're going to be wearing the white and green. So I like that combination right there. The white on green, just heads and toes down. Probably be the away jersey. I like the blue and green with the black helmet. Also like the white with the green with the looks like blue letters as well at the black helmet. That one's cool. And I think my second favorite would have to be the blue pants, green jersey, blue numbers, white and green helmet. I think it'd be cool. I don't know if they had it, but if they had like a blue and green helmet, I think that'd be cool as well. Like maybe wear like white pants with the blue jersey and then with the blue and green helmet. I think that combination would be sick. But nonetheless, this is one of them. I think we got one more to show. But yeah, I mean, just great. I mean, you can't tell me that uni's not fire. I mean, white on green like that, that's pretty fire, y'all. I'm not gonna lie to you. So they unveiled their new uniform combinations. They'll be a team to watch. I think it's top tier. What you think, Greg?
The numbers stand out, so Matt Stewart will be happy.
For sure. So yeah, I definitely think that's a program doing big things. Love their jerseys. Love them coming out with new uniforms and things like that. At #4, we're going to keep it rolling. Mike Matthews is Tennessee Evolve. I know you guys came from me on my personal YouTube channel about it. Hey, look, you can't get every prediction right, y'all, okay? I'm man enough to say that I got this one wrong. I thought it was going to go to Clemson, Clemson was hot on the trails, but towards the end, they were kind of slated for Tennessee, slated for the Volunteers, and that's okay. I'm not going to get them all right, y'all, you know what I'm saying? But I'm man enough to say, hey, I got it wrong. That's okay, but nonetheless, Mike Matthews, man, he's a exceptional athlete, exceptional receiver. He's actually playing corner to start. I love the intel that Chad Simmons kind of gave on the platform right before he committed at his house in Parkview. Just kind of him saying, like, first kind of started off as a safety, and then he kind of grew into his body, and then now he's like 6'1". Now he's, a guy that started getting recruited as a receiver, and he's a 5-star now. So, I mean, I love where he's going, and had a great opener against Johns Creek. 2 touchdowns, I think, in the first half. I mean, he's just a stud player. And I think what's so cool is to be able to see them in that first matchup. As I said, like, get your popcorn ready. Like, Parkview Kill. Like, that is a great way to start the Corky Kill. Obviously, it's not the first game, but that is a great way to end Wednesday night. And it just shows so much talent, right? You got Mike Matthews is going to Tennessee. You got Jalen Crawford is going to Auburn. You got Antonio White. You got Traylon Match. You got Kyrie Spain. You got Jordan Ford on the offensive line. You got Cortez Smith on the offensive line. I mean, that's just going to be a phenomenal matchup. On Kill side, you got Kyle Vaca, Bryce Clavin, Peyton Zachary. They got some dogs on their defensive side of the ball. Cedric Franklin, Kamari Nix, Marquavius Sabor, Justin Logan. Like, it's so many studs that are going to be all over that field. That's going to be such a great way to end Corky Kill on that Wednesday night. And I think that's one of the most matchups I'm excited for. Besides Grayson and Walton, that's definitely one I've got circled as well. And can't wait for it. So that's number 4. And he's also, last thing about that, he will be playing under center with some great quarterbacks. That was kind of what he said about his decision. Nico Imamaleva, and then Jake Merklinger, who's committed to Tennessee as well, who plays out there in Calvary Day, 4-star player. So he's going to have some great guys for that. And then number 5, Sports Turf finished their renovations to Maddox Musselwhite track in Grisham Stadium at Carrollton High School. I think this is some big news. As we all know, the track state championships are always at Carrollton. So they renovated the field, some great pictures there. And, Carrollton continues to get the great field, had a great state final run last year. So I think that was incredible as well. So good things for Sports Turf. They continue to, be innovative, be on the cutting edge of building these great fields for these teams and things like that. So definitely think we'll probably have one game this season out there, probably in Carrollton, to watch them play, and can't wait to see what the renovations look like in person. So that's number 5. Number 6, hour and a half before the show, Justin Content from Mill Creek committed to Western Kentucky. Last year had 3 interceptions, good for 3rd on the team last year. He will take a big role, I think, this upcoming season. Again, you had so many dogs in Mill Creek last year. Caleb Downs, Jamal Anderson, some really good players, man. So it's tough to kind of, obviously still have his impact, but it's tough. This year he'll kind of be more in the forefront along with Trajan Greco, their kind of stud corner who's going to Georgia Tech. So I think he'll be a big part of that defensive team this upcoming season. So he'll be a team to watch. Oh, yeah, he did, right? Yep. Yeah, Craig just brought it to my attention. Big touchdown in the championship game against Carrollton. So I know it's been kind of high on Craig's radar. So he could be a player to watch for Mill Creek going into next season. And number 7, Reese Fountain picks up a Jacksonville State offer out of Alabama. Big for the rising senior. He's going to be named to watch. I think he had 28 touchdowns, 7 interceptions last year. I know he's been kind of, imploring me to watch a little more of his film and kind of look out for him. So definitely I get to see him up close and personal. Last year, it was obviously my first year, so I didn't know these players like I do now. I feel like I got more of a grasp on it of, the players and knowing who is who and some marquee players for the team. So I think this year I'll be a little bit better, and I can kind of watch with more of an eye this upcoming season, Reese Fountain. So we're going to see. Obviously, they're a marquee team for a reason. Romans made it to state semifinals last year, and they're on a national radar, making this High School Football America list as well. So that is also major news. And then number 8, former Grayson player Caden Allen, class of 2026, stud player, right? Has offers from Cincinnati, ASU, Georgia, Texas A&M. He is officially transferring to Montverde Academy. He announced this on his Twitter a couple hours ago. So no more Caden Allen in the Grayson uniform. I was actually excited before the show. I had actually planned it and actually said, well, man, that Grayson roster, I think they're going to be the team to beat in 7A. And I still think so. I still think they have championship aspiration. I think they could win this year, with just all the talent they've acquired on the basketball roster. And, I don't disagree with that. And, him adding to that. I thought it was going to be great, but nonetheless, he's gone. He's going to be going to a new school out in Florida. But he's had a great circuit in the AAU, and he's kind of blown up. Great Nike EYBL. If you guys don't know what that is, that's kind of the national tournament. Essentially, just some of the top players in the country play. The Boozer twins, Cooper Flag, AJ Diane Basta plays. Dylan Harper, just all the top tier talent from across the country plays in that. So good luck to him. I was excited to kind of watch him play this year, but he'll be down there in Florida, so can't be mad at that. Seeing a little bit of the exodus out of Georgia to other schools, so hopefully it all works out for all the players and everything like that. And number 9, pretty sure Craig has seen this. Nick Chubb back with another viral summer clip, squatting I think over 600 plus pounds down there in Cedartown. I don't know how he does it, but obviously the man's a different breed. And what I just love about Chubb, I didn't get to see him play his high school career. I did see some of his college career, him splitting reps, and him actually being the feature back, playing alongside Sony Michel. And that's really where, if we're going to be honest about this Georgia dynasty, people say, but I wouldn't say dynasty yet. I think they need to win one more. So I'm not going to, I'm up for a frame, Graham. I'm not going to say they're a dynasty yet. I can't say they're on the level of Alabama yet. But if they three-peat, we might have to start having a different conversation. But that's where it started, right? It started with the Nick Chubbs, the Sony Michels, right? The Kendall Miltons, the Todd Gurleys, right? That's where the running back tree started. And that's where Georgia really got their identity, right? Running the football and then using play action. So I just love that Chubb hasn't really changed. He still comes down to his alma mater, his school, where it all started for him, where he started as a young guy who had high hopes and potential. And, he's definitely realized that. He's definitely one of the top running backs, I think, of the past 10 years, past decade. And you can't give me too many more. For you might say one that can one-up him, you might say Derrick Henry. But who else can you really say in the past 10 years has really been that guy? Besides maybe a Derrick Henry, Adrian Peterson. But in the last 10 years, he's one of those guys. Like, when you think of the Browns, you think of Nick Chubb. You don't think of, no disrespect, you don't think of Deshaun Watson. Like, you think Nick Chubb, you think Myles Garrett, then you might think of Deshaun Watson. There's no disrespect to him. He's a great player, great quarterback in the league. But you think of Nick Chubb. You think of that running game. How are we going to stop Nick Chubb? So I just think it's great every summer he comes back, gives back his knowledge and his tools to some of those players and just some of those athletes down in Cedartown that just has high hopes like he did. And Chubb does it the right way, right? Chubb doesn't get in trouble. He's smart. He's made his money in the league. He gives back. He looks out for others. So I just think, man, he just does a great job of just being that exemplary figure for others and for the youth. And I think he continues to pass that down. And, man, you love that. Honestly, you love that. So I always love seeing him back with Cedartown. And then number 10, Thomas County Central forward Jalen Wingfield receives an offer from Georgia. He's another player that's been having a really great summer, picking up offers. Got to watch out for next season for that team out there in 6A, seeing what their basketball program is able to do. So that's number 10. That's all I got for you guys this weekend. I know we got some major boxing fights coming up soon. I think it's Earl Spence. Gosh, I'm drawing a blank. He's going to fight somebody, I think July 29th. I think next weekend. So that'll be a big fight. But other than that, that's pretty much the major news. Make sure you keep it locked for our media day. Should be live stream on our YouTube, on the Atlanta News First app, and things like that. That'll be a lot of fun. A lot of media talent to be there. I think Craig got a show tomorrow. Any guests you're going to have? Seconger. So stay tuned for that. I think it's going to be a great show because they're stationed out there in Beaufort. Not a lot of people know about the Seconger program. And I think that's going to be a great interview Craig's going to have with the head coach just to learn more about the program, some of their key players. I think they had their first season last season, if I'm not mistaken, in football. So what do they look like in year 2? Y'all have to keep it locked for that. That'll be a great interview tomorrow on Craig's show, Drive for the GHSA State title. So that's all I got for y'all today, man. Hope y'all enjoyed the show. Have a good rest of your week, and we will see you guys soon for a jam-packed week next week and for Craig's show tomorrow. Till then, much love and peace.